My name is Ethan Carter. I'm 24, from a small town outside of Boston, but I live in the city now. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, She Walked In Wearing My Shirt. I'll never forget that day. The memory begins on a gray November morning, the kind where the sky looks like old paper and the air tastes of metal. I'd stayed late at the advertising agency the night before. Pitch season, deadlines stacked like dominoes, and crashed on the office couch. My tie was still knotted, my laptop humming beside me. When the door to my office opened, I expected my boss or a cleaner. Instead, I saw her, Amelia, standing there barefoot, hair tangled like she'd been caught in the wind, wearing my shirt from the coat rack. It hung loose on her, sleeves rolled up, buttons uneven. "Ethan," she said softly, "we need to talk." Even now I can hear that tremor in her voice, a note between fear and relief. I didn't speak right away. My heart was hammering because Amelia wasn't just a coworker. She was my boss's daughter, and the woman I'd been secretly seeing for 6 months. She closed the door behind her, clicking the lock. "We can't keep doing this," she whispered. I sat up, rubbing my eyes. "Doing what?" "You know what," she said. "Pretending. Sneaking. My father suspects." Her father, Martin Doyle, the agency's founder, had the kind of reputation that made interns cry and competitors fold. He'd given me my start in the industry. He also made it clear no one was good enough for his daughter, especially not me. "You're scared," I said, standing now, my tie hanging loose. "So am I." Amelia's eyes darted to the window. Rain tapped against the glass like fingers. She pulled the shirt tighter around herself. "We crossed a line, Ethan. And if he finds out..." I stepped closer. "Then what? He fires me? Fine. I'll start over somewhere else. But I won't lose you." For a moment, she looked like she wanted to believe me. Then her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen and her face drained of color. "It's him," she murmured. "He's downstairs." We froze. The agency was nearly empty at this hour. If Martin Doyle walked into my office and found his daughter wearing my shirt, everything would explode. I could almost hear my career shattering like glass. "Go out the back stairwell," I whispered. "Now." But Amelia didn't move. Her eyes shimmered. "Ethan, there's something I haven't told you." The words hung between us like a storm cloud, but footsteps in the hall cut her off. Heavy, deliberate. I grabbed my jacket, threw it over her shoulders, and guided her to the door. "Later," I hissed. "Just go." She left without another word, disappearing down the back stairs just as the footsteps reached my door. I sat back at my desk, trying to look busy, my pulse rattling. Martin Doyle entered without knocking. A tall man, silver hair perfectly combed, eyes like polished stone. "Carter," he said, glancing around. "Working early?" "Yes, sir," I managed. "Big pitch next week." He sniffed, walked to the window. "You look tired. You should take better care of yourself." His eyes flicked to the coat rack, empty where my shirt had been, then back to me. "Have you seen Amelia?" My throat went dry. "Not since last week's meeting," I lied. He studied me for a long moment. Then he smiled, a thin, humorless curve. "If you're lying to me, son, you'll regret it." He turned and left, the door clicking shut behind him. I exhaled, my hands trembling, but my relief was short-lived. On my desk sat Amelia's phone, forgotten in her rush. The screen still glowed with a text. "He knows. Run." The rest of that day blurred. Client calls, emails, fake small talk. Inside, I was on fire. That night, I went to Amelia's apartment, a small loft filled with plants and old books. The door was unlocked. "Amelia?" I called. No answer. I stepped inside. Her mug was still warm on the counter. The place smelled of lavender and rain. But she was gone. Only a note on the table. "Meet me at the pier. Midnight. Tell no one." The pier was where we'd first kissed, after a late work dinner. It was also her escape place, where she'd go when things got bad at home. I grabbed my coat and left. It was raining harder now, the harbor lights shimmering on the black water. I saw her silhouette at the end of the pier, hair plastered to her face, jacket hood up. "Amelia," I said, running to her. "What's happening?" She turned, eyes wild. "He found the emails, Ethan. He knows everything. He's threatened to ruin you, ruin my career. Then we'll leave," I said. "We'll start over somewhere else." "It's not that simple," she said. "My father, he's not who you think he is. She stopped, clutching her stomach. "God, I'm so stupid." I reached for her, but she pulled back. "I kept something from you," she whispered. "Something that changes everything." The rain drummed harder. A ship's horn echoed across the water. My heart was pounding. "Tell me," I said. "Please." "I'm engaged," she blurted out. "To someone else. An arrangement my father set up months ago with a client. I thought I could break it. I thought I could choose you. But now," her voice cracked, "now he's using it against me." For a moment I couldn't breathe. My mind replayed every moment we'd shared. The secret smiles, the stolen weekends. All of it shadowed by this truth. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. "I didn't want to lose you," she said. "But if he knows about us, he'll destroy you to protect his deal. You have to walk away, Ethan. Tonight." "No," I said, shaking my head. "I won't." Lightning split the sky. In that flash, I saw a figure at the far end of the pier. A man in a dark coat watching us. My stomach dropped. "Who is that?" I asked. Amelia's face went pale. "We're out of time," she whispered. I turned back to her, but she was already moving, slipping into the shadows of the pier, vanishing like smoke. I stood alone, soaked and shaking, the water lapping against the wood. The man in the coat was gone too. Only the storm remained. That was the last time I saw her. At least, for a while. I didn't sleep that night. I paced my apartment like a man locked in a cell, wet clothes still clinging to me. The pier, the figure in the dark coat, Amelia's confession. It all looped through my mind like a bad reel of film. By morning, I'd made up my mind. If Martin Doyle wanted to bury me, he'd have to do it to my face. At 8 a.m. sharp, I walked into the agency. The lobby smelled of disinfectant and coffee. Assistants darted around with clipboards. Doyle's office door was closed. "Is Amelia in?" I asked her father's secretary. "She's on leave," she said, without looking up. "Leave? That's what Mr. Doyle told us." My chest tightened. Amelia had vanished, and Doyle had scripted her disappearance before anyone could question it. I knocked on his office door anyway. "Come in," he barked. The office looked like a magazine spread, polished wood, floor-to-ceiling windows, a skyline view. Martin Doyle sat behind his desk, fingers steepled. "Ethan," he said, "you look unwell." I shut the door. "Where is Amelia?" He gave a small smile. "That's none of your concern." "She's my concern." My voice cracked. "She's terrified of you." His eyes sharpened. "Watch your tone. You arranged her engagement without her consent. You're using her like a pawn for a business deal." He leaned back. "You're a talented young man, Ethan. I gave you a chance when no one else would, but you crossed a line. My daughter is not your salvation." "I love her," I said. Something flickered in his face, gone too fast to read. "Love," he said quietly. "Do you even know what that word costs?" "I know it's not a transaction," I shot back. He stood, slow and deliberate. "I'm going to give you one chance. Leave Boston. Take another job. Forget her. Or I will ensure you never work in this industry again." I stared at him, pulse hammering. "If you touch her," his voice turned to ice. "If you think you can protect her, you're already too late." I left before I said something I couldn't take back. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped my keys twice in the parking garage. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about the man on the pier. The way Amelia had vanished. The text she'd left on her phone. "He knows. Run." Was she hiding from me? From him? Or from something worse? I pulled up her social media. Nothing. Her phone was still on my desk at home. Silent. A ghost in black glass. I went back to the pier the next evening. Rain had cleared. The sky was a bruised purple. I walked to the end, scanning the water. Nothing but gulls and the sound of ropes creaking against wood. Then, tucked under a loose plank near where she'd stood, I found an envelope. My name on the front, written in her handwriting. I tore it open. Ethan, if you're reading this, I'm gone. He's taken everything from me, but I won't let him take you too. Please don't follow. You'll only get hurt. My knees went weak. I gripped the railing, staring at the ink until it blurred. I don't remember driving home. I only remember waking at 3 a.m. to a knock on my door. 3 slow knocks. I opened it to find a woman in a trench coat. Mid-30s, serious eyes. She flashed a badge. Detective Harris. We need to talk about Amelia Doyle. My heart plummeted. Is she okay? Not exactly, Harris said, stepping inside. She's reported missing. Her father says she left voluntarily, but she studied me. You were involved with her, weren't you? I hesitated. Yes. Then you're going to tell me everything. We sat at my kitchen table, the city lights flickering through the blinds. Harris listened as I told her about the affair, the engagement, the threats. She didn't flinch. Martin Doyle has powerful friends, she said finally. But Amelia's been contacting us off and on for months. She was trying to help us build a case against him. Fraud, coercion, kickbacks tied to his clients. I blinked. She never told me that. She couldn't. The less you knew, the safer you were. She left me a note, I said. At the pier. Good, Harris said. It means she's still alive. But Doyle's panicking. That makes him dangerous. She slid me a burner phone. If she reaches out, call me first. Don't go after her on your own. I held the phone, knuckles white. I can't just do nothing. Do you want her safe or not? Harris asked. I didn't answer. She left me with a warning. Whatever you think this is, it's bigger. 2 days later, at dawn, my apartment buzzer rang. I rushed to the door and found a package on the mat. No return address. Inside was a flash drive and a single photograph. Amelia at the pier, from behind, like a surveillance shot. On the back, trust no one. I plugged the drive into my laptop. Files popped up. Spreadsheets, invoices, offshore accounts, evidence of Martin Doyle's deals. And at the bottom, a video clip. Amelia, speaking into a shaky phone camera, eyes wide. Ethan, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry. I wanted to tell you everything. My father isn't just dangerous, he's desperate. Don't come for me, please. They're watching you too. She swallowed. If you love me, give this to the police. The clip ended. I sat there shaking. She was alive. She'd been risking everything not just for us, but for something larger, maybe to expose him. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A text. The pier. Midnight. Alone. I knew it was a trap, but I also knew I couldn't ignore it. Midnight came. I walked the length of the pier, the burner phone in my pocket, Detective Harris's number ready. The water was black glass. The city hummed in the distance. A figure stepped from the shadows. Not Amelia. Martin Doyle. I told you to stay away, he said, voice low. Where is she? I demanded. He smiled coldly. She made her choice. Now you'll make yours. He reached into his coat. My pulse spiked. But instead of a gun, he pulled out another envelope and dropped it at my feet. Read it, he said. Inside was a plane ticket. One way. Out of the country. Take it, Doyle said. Disappear. This is your last chance. Or what? I asked. Or you'll never see her again. I stared at him, the night wind cutting like glass. You think you can control everyone, I said. But she's not yours anymore. His smile faltered just enough to see the man beneath the mask. Then, behind him, a flicker of movement, a figure at the edge of the pier. Amelia, her face pale, eyes pleading. She shook her head slightly, as if to warn me. Doyle turned, sensing her presence. In that split second, everything exploded, footsteps pounding. A shout, Harris's team emerging from the shadows, badges flashing. Martin Doyle, Harris yelled. Step away. Chaos. Lights. Doyle spun, grabbed Amelia's arm. You betray me and you think you'll walk away? He hissed. Let her go, I shouted, lunging forward. But Harris's officers moved faster, pulling him back, freeing Amelia. For a heartbeat, time froze, her in my arms, him being dragged away, the night finally breaking open. That was the last time I saw Martin Doyle. Amelia gave her statement, handed over the evidence. The case went public, headlines, hearings, his empire crumbling. She left Boston soon after, disappearing into witness protection under another name. She didn't tell me where. For her safety, she couldn't. The day she left, she sent me one last message. You saved me, even when you didn't know how. Maybe someday we'll meet again. I sat on the pier reading it, the same spot where she'd once stood in my shirt. The water was calm now, the city quiet. I realized then that love isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it's about letting go so someone can be free, even if it breaks you. It's been a year since that night on the pier. Boston feels different now, softer somehow, like a city exhaling after a storm. The agency has new leadership. My own career survived, but I'm not the same man who used to sleep under his desk chasing deadlines. Every Sunday morning, before the streets fill with traffic, I walk to the harbor and sit on the same bench where the pier begins. Seagulls will overhead. Sometimes there's a woman jogging with a yellow lab, or a father teaching his daughter how to fish. I watch them and think of Amelia, of how a life can pivot on a single choice. I never heard from her again after that last message. I still have it saved on my phone. Some nights I play the little video she left me on the flash drive, her eyes steady, telling me to give the evidence to the police. There's no bitterness in her face, only a quiet resolve. She saved herself and maybe me too. People ask me why I haven't started dating again. I tell them work keeps me busy. The truth is harder. When you've held someone in a moment of pure fear and love, when you've watched them choose courage over comfort, your idea of intimacy changes. You stop looking for sparks and start looking for substance. I've learned that love isn't a possession or a prize. It's a space you hold for someone else to grow, even if you're not standing inside it. I used to think my job was to rescue Amelia. In the end, what saved her was telling the truth, and what saved me was learning to let go without resentment. I keep one of her notes tucked in my wallet. The ink has faded from rain, but you can still read the last line. Please don't follow. You'll only get hurt. When I see it, I don't feel hurt anymore. I feel gratitude for the chance to have known her, to have loved fiercely and lost with dignity. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, She Walked In Wearing My Shirt. I'll never forget that day, because that day didn't just change my life. It taught me the kind of love that survives even in absence, the kind that shapes who you become long after the person is gone. And sometimes, when the morning light hits the water just right, I swear I can almost see her reflection there. Free, whole, and out of reach, and I smile.